Hello and welcome back to the Final Whistle podcast. This week we'll be discussing who we feel will win the Premier League Golden Boot. Joining me today is, of course, Bobby Addison and Daniel Fears. And we're joined by Newcastle fan and YouTuber Adam Pearson. So thanks for coming on, guys. Let's just get straight into it, and we'll start off with you, Bobby. Which three players are you putting forward to win this year's Premier League Golden Boot?
So I have gone with Son Heung-min to get first place, and then Jamie Vardy second, and then I'm tied between in third place Harry Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think they both sort of depend on like how well they continue to do, because both their teams have started out quite well, and if they keep their form up, then I presume that they could probably get in that top spot. We've also got Danny Ings, Aubameyang if he starts to decide to turn up, and maybe Werner if Chelsea start playing well as well.
Dan, what about you? Which three people are you putting forward?
I went with Danny Ings as first place, and then Danny, Son, and then Mane.
Brilliant. Now, what about you, Adam? Which people are you putting forward?
I personally think Jamie Vardy will win the Premier League Golden Boot for the second season in a row. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin will come in second. I think Mohamed Salah will be in third. Brilliant.
Now, Bobby, you said there you were putting Son to win it. What stands out about him for you?
Well, I think it's quite his partnership with Harry Kane is obviously very noticeable. They obviously understand each other very well. You've got Jose Mourinho in as their manager now. He's been there for a little while. He's getting them settled in, and I think he's a two-footed player. He's very quick. He's very agile. He's obviously very suited to the league, and I think if he just keeps his form up, keeps his confidence, keeps the connection with Harry Kane, and I reckon he definitely could be up there.
Definitely. And Dan, you said Danny Ings to win. He's obviously had an interesting career. Do you think that Southampton's the right level club for him, or do you think we could see him step back up again to one of the bigger teams?
I think he probably is a sort of Europa League sort of team. I couldn't see, let's say, Liverpool or City or somewhere like that if he went there. Possibly a team around Everton's level. I'd say he would fit in quite nicely there. Even Newcastle, I'd say Newcastle would be happy to have him.
And Adam, you're a Newcastle fan. Would you be happy to take Danny Ings up top?
Yes, I would be.
Now, you've had some interesting strikers up top for Newcastle in recent years. How happy are you with your current attacking options?
At the minute, I'm quite happy. Callum Wilson, who just came in, he scored 4 goals in his first 5 games. In terms of getting forwards, even though Newcastle don't attack an awful lot, I think Sid Maximin's an all player that can come in. Once he has the ball, you always know he's going to do something with it. So at the minute, I'm quite happy with your attacking options. But if Callum Wilson gets injured at some point in the season, and he has got a history record, I think it will affect the team quite a bit. But for now, I'm happy.
Bobby, what did you make of the signing of Callum Wilson in the summer for Newcastle?
I actually think it was very good because they also got Ryan Fraser as well from Bournemouth, didn't they? So I think that was definitely 2 good pickups, especially how disappointing Joe Linton was last season. Spending that amount of money and he's not really performed. So I think he's English. He's proven to be a good striker, and if he just keeps his form up, gets Sam Maximin playing well, gets some assists, then I think it definitely could be a good signing for Newcastle.
One of the names that was brought up with the top scorers list, and is definitely one that was on my list, was Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dan, how impressed have you been with his start to the season?
I've been very impressed with his start to the season. I think James Rodriguez was the perfect purchase for them to provide him assists, because I think that's what he was missing last season, because they weren't really getting balls into the box. And he's perfect for that.
Well, some of his stats here, he's got 7 goals in 6 games, and his goals per 90 minutes is 1.2. So it's pretty impressive, a goal per game. Adam, can you see Calvert-Lewin keeping his form up for the entire season?
It depends on the form of Everton itself, because in a previous season, Everton dropped stupid points at times. It seemed at the weekend, they lost to Southampton, but they didn't keep it a good run. They've got a world-class midfield, in my opinion. They're fun for, when the Charleston's back, he was a massive miss for them. But yeah, if he can continue playing well, Everton, I think he will keep up his goals scoring records.
Now, in the top few goal scorers at the moment, one name which isn't obviously being thrown out for Golden Boot winner is Patrick Bamford at Leeds. He's got 6 goals in 6 games. How many do you think, Bobby? How many goals do you think Bamford could score this season? Will he reach 20, or is that a bit too much?
Oh, I don't know, because I mean, obviously you can't just take away goals. He got the hat trick last weekend, and I think it just sort of does depend on how Leeds play, because either they're obviously quite an attacking team, and if they are deciding to play him over Rodrigo, who they've signed, I reckon he could definitely be up there and sort of the 15, 16, 17 mark. Not sure with Leeds' first season he'll reach 20. I mean, I could definitely be wrong. He could be a great, have a great start to in his life in the Premier League again. But yeah, no, I'm not totally convinced that he'll hit 20, but possibly 15, 16.
And Dan, as Bobby just mentioned there with Rodrigo, not being played as much, what were your initial thoughts when they brought him in?
Well, he was the most expensive signing ever, wasn't it? And I thought he was going to bring something different to that Leeds team. But I thought they should have been focusing on their defence a bit more than that position.
So other people that have scored quite a few already this season that we haven't mentioned. Harry Kane's got 5 and 5. It's not necessarily his best start to season, but goal a game, it's good. But if we look at assists, Kane's top of the pile, 7 assists in there, followed by John McGinn with 4. So that's quite good. That's quite a good bit of stat for him. But then you wouldn't, if you were Tottenham, you'd want him to be scoring goals more than you'd be getting assists. Adam, what type of season do you think Kane will have? Do you think he'll be challenging for the Golden Boot, or is he just going to kind of wave along?
I get injured every single season for he's out for a few months as well every single time. So if he can keep himself from getting injured, I think he will definitely be a player that can get himself in there. But at the minute, though, he just seems to be getting all the assists for Son. But yeah, he is putting some great link-up play at the minute for Son. So Mourinho's done a great job of getting those two to connect together. But he can stay fit, I can see him challenging for it.
Now, for Everton this season, we already mentioned Calvert-Lewin doing well, and Dan brought up James Rodriguez, who's been vital for their start to this season. How important do you think he will be, and how much of an impact will it bring if he does become injured, Dan?
I think it will be vital to them. If he comes injured, I could see them really dropping points for the week he's out. But then again, it depends on what time of the year. If he gets injured around the Christmas period, I think that will really mess them up for the season. And this all depends again on who they have during that period.
Now, Bobby, we've seen the start of this season some very interesting results, especially Aston Villa, Liverpool. Now, there's a lot of debate going on about who can win the title this year. I think all the teams have lost at least one game now. So it's pretty open for anyone to kind of challenge, apart from Arsenal. Who do you see up there as the key contenders this season from what you've seen already?
Well, I mean, honestly, this year I've probably watched the most out of the Premier League, obviously because it's been so exciting. But I think it's probably the most difficult one to predict. Especially, you can notice it in I don't know if you do fantasy football, but like all the safe choices last year, nobody's really picking up points. And either one week people are doing really well, the next week they're getting beaten by teams that they should easily beat. Now, I think you're going to have to put Liverpool in there because I can't see them not being anywhere near there. And as much as it pains me to say it, if Kane and Son stay like injury free, I reckon Tottenham could be up there. But if one of them does get injured, I think that will throw them off. And then I'll also have to say, I don't know, maybe Everton and Leicester. It's quite bold, but I don't know, it could happen.
Adam, who would you put forward, to kind of see challenging?
I would still fancy City to come back. I know the attack hasn't been awfully good at the minute, but I think Man City, they've got such good talent. Obviously, won the Premier League multiple times now, so I can see them eventually, picking up some form and getting themselves back in there. But yeah, at the minute, I just have to say Liverpool, Tottenham, Everton. Really, I can't really say anyone else challenging at the minute. It just seems to be so random in the league at the minute.
Now, Dan, Man City, they've had some interesting results this season. The West Ham game was a brilliant game to watch. A fantastic goal by Antonio. If Pep Guardiola doesn't win either the Premier League or the Champions League this year, do you think he will still be the City manager next season, or will sacked or walking away from the club?
I think that it will then go down on if he wins the FA Cup. If he gets him a trophy, I think his job will be safe. If he doesn't, I can't see it being safe. I think he'll get the sack because they've given him so much money to spend. I think they spent something like 120 to 150 million this summer on centre backs, and they seem to be conceding goals for fun at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. And as Dan said, they're getting a trophy and would kind of get justification for Pep. Bobby, do you think that that the FA Cup would be enough, or does he need more of a major trophy?
I personally don't think that would be enough. I think after the amount of money that he's spent, not just the season over last season, and the caliber of like the manager, I just don't think that. I think he has to either win the Premier League, the Champions League, or go on like a good run in the league to definitely keep his job. I don't think the club will want a League Cup or an FA Cup. League Cup, I wouldn't say it would. FA Cup possibly, but I really do think that they'll be pushing for the Premier League or the Champions League. And I'll be honest, I can't see them winning it, so I don't know how long he'll have left in his job, if I'm totally honest.
Now, if we finally get a little section on the end, of course, we said about a Golden Boot, another award that last season went a bit mad near the end was the Player of the Season award. Obviously, Henderson won the Journalists' Player of the Year award, and everyone thought that was the PFA Player of the Year, which went to De Bruyne in the end. Adam, who do you see the Player of the Season award going to if we're judging it so far?
So far, I'll probably have to say, maybe Son. I think he's had a great start in the season. In terms of linking up with Kane, I think he's done a brilliant job, and yeah, he's got Tottenham some very important points. Although they drop a few points now and again, but they are looking quite promising. So in terms of throughout the season, I think if Son can keep it up, I reckon he'll be one to definitely challenge for.
Dan, who would you put forward for the team of the Player of the Season so far?
I'd have to put forward James Rodriguez, just his link-up play, and he seems to get Everton challenging again.
Bobby?
I think I'm going to have to agree with Dan. I'm going to go James Rodriguez. If he keeps his form, if he stays uninjured, I definitely think he should be up for a shout with it.
Well, those are actually the names I put down. For me, I put Son and Rodriguez because they've been so influential this season.
Yeah,
I think it's been quite interesting what Ancelotti's been able to do. Obviously, in previous seasons, Everton have failed to even challenge Liverpool in the derbies, but that derby actually kind of had it was a bit more exciting to watch because they actually had a chance and interesting tackle, which the FA have decided is perfectly fine because he was offside. Lastly, we'll just do a quick question of the European Super League that's been put up as a proposal. More seems to be of like a reboot for the Champions League in a kind of way, scrapping that. Bobby, would you like to see the Champions League scrapped for this Super League?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. No, I think it is a competition. You get, even though you do get the sort of the same teams winning it, you do see like a lot of teams coming up and doing well. You've got Lyon last season having a decent run. And I think, I don't know, maybe it's just people don't like change, but I just can't see it changing. And if it does, I don't think it'll be done in the right way, especially with just because I think a lot of it is just trying to keep the big clubs in power. And I don't think they want the smaller teams to like come up and, be challengers for them. So I'm not sure with some of the corruption in, the industries that it might be the right idea, but, we'll see what happens.
And Adam, being a Newcastle fan, there was obviously the hope of the takeover in the summer. And then if that did go through, there was obviously the big thing about, we could challenge for Europe. would you rather see your club compete in the Champions League with all the history, or would you want them, to compete in this Super League, which is being proposed?
Because obviously these games are going to be played like throughout Europe, so of course fans, when COVID's obviously a lot better, fans will be going to games, and for me, that's the most important part of fans. So for me, yes, I'll look to see Newcastle competing in Europe, but I don't agree with the Super League at all.
Dan, what's your opinion on the Super League?
I just think that it shouldn't really be replacing the Champions League. If they were to do it, I'd want them to do it alongside the Champions League. I want to do it as another tournament, not replace it.
Maybe if we scrapped the Carabao Man City Cup, then we could have a bit more time for it. Well, that was a great episode. Thank you, Adam, for joining us, and thanks everybody for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And as I said, thank you for listening. That was The Final Whistle.